Hello everyone, we're once again here in our video series of migration or migrating in Australia. I'm here with Nicolas Miranda, Registered Migration Agent in Visado Migration Services. Nick, today and for you guys, this video is part of the visa or skill visa program that we've been talking about in other videos. But before we go into more detail, I ask you guys to please hit the bell button, the like button, and also subscribe to this channel so that you can actually get all the updates on the migration system in Australia, and also that, well, probably we can give you as much information as possible on that current, time and everything. So Nick, welcome back to our series videos in migration. So how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. So there's such a big topic when you try and pull it apart, when it comes to permanent visas and skills and things like that. So I'm curious to hear what your questions are going to be.
Okay, so the question that continues, or let's say we're going deeper and deeper into what the skill migration process or program is, and there's a lot of people asking, how do I check if I'm eligible or not? That will be the question. Yeah.
The question being, how do I know if I'm eligible for permanent residency or not? So this is a very broad question. Now, there are several common ways to get permanent residency in Australia. If you're an investor, if you have a really, specific skill, if you have these other, if you have family in Australia. So outside of having an Australian partner, the two most common ways when it comes to sort of being a qualified worker or, somebody with skills is an employer sponsor. So an employer will sponsor you to work for them, and then there's a pathway to permanent residency depending on the visa you're being sponsored for, depending on your occupation. Then the other way is via the general skilled migration, where you have the sufficient number of points to be invited by the department to thus then apply for the visa.
Okay, that's very clear. But then I know and everyone hear about those points, and we mentioned in a previous video about the 65 points. But how many points actually are required, and how does it work?
Yeah, so if we're looking at the 189, which is sort of the mother of the visas of general skilled migration. So there's three different visas: 189, 190, 491. They all work under the same principle, meaning you need to get over 65 points to be able to then be nominated. But 65 is basically the minimum. That it's a competitive round, so the person or the people with the highest number of points are the ones who are being invited or called to be invited by the department. So obviously you're getting points for different reasons. I was saying they're based on your personal profile, things like that. For example, your age, that could be one way. Now, age plays a big part in terms of the points. You would be getting, if you're between the ages of 25 and 33, you'll be getting 30 points, okay, based on your age. Another way, and quite another big one that brings a lot of points, is obviously your language skills, and particularly obviously your English language skills. So if you just have what's deemed to be competent English, so that's a 6 on the IELTS, you get 0 points. So even if you have good English, you still don't get a lot. If you get 7 on the IELTS, you get proficient, you get 10 points. But if you get 8 on the IELTS or the equivalent exam, you get 20 points. So now we're looking at that's a big chunk of points that you get just for getting really good English. So really important. I can't stress this enough. As soon as you arrive in Australia, keep practicing and keep working on English. They give you points for your work experience, so experience based outside of Australia, experience from inside of Australia. If you have experience from overseas, they don't count the first 3 years of experience overseas, okay? So that's a bit of a shame. But from 3 to 5 years, you get 5 points. However, if you get experience inside of Australia, and we've talked about the graduate visa being the 485, if you get 1 year of experience in Australia, they give you 5 points. Okay, so that's another reason why the graduate visa is also quite a beneficial visa. You get points for your education as well. So we're looking at, different levels. So if you have a trade or a diploma, you get 10. If you have a bachelor's degree or a higher, you get 15. A doctorate gives you 20. Now these are qualifications obtained overseas and in Australia as well. They also are now giving us sort of specific specialist education qualifications. So we're looking at STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths related studies. So if you do have things that are related to, and there's a list that the department does give us, you're obviously getting more points there. If you study in Australia, you get points for that. If you do your professional year, only a few occupations offer this, but if you do a professional year in Australia of 12 months or more, you get points for that. You've mentioned if you become a credentialed community language translator, basically, where you get authorization to be a translator in Australia, you get points for that. The last one, which is a really easy way to get points, is regional study. So if you study in a regional area, that's fantastic. You can obviously get points for that. Now, there's specific points for if you apply with a partner or without a partner. Now, you will be getting points if your partner if your partner has a level of English that we need, and they also give you points if your partner has a skills assessment in an occupation that's on the correct occupation list. You also lose points if your partner doesn't have the level of English needed, or if they don't have an occupation in demand as well. So that's the overview. Yeah. I hope I haven't lost you. I thought I'd go through every single one. We can probably have questions about everything as well. But I just wanted to cover them all because there's a lot of different ways to get points. As you can see, it's based on overall, I think in summary, your work experience, your qualification, the level of qualification, your English, and your age are probably the main ones that will put your points together.
That is actually a great information. I know this information is actually in the Department of Immigration website, where everyone can actually have a look at it. And I know somewhere in that website there is a calculator where you can actually check. But also we're just or what Nick has described today is just it's pretty much the general requirements and how many points and where they actually count points from. But it's also important to see each case because it all depends. And even if I have 5 years of experience, it might not count as 5 years of experience. I know for some, I don't know for every if it's for every let's say occupation, I have to have a degree. So if you have, because it happens a lot as well that people have experience, but before they actually graduated, yeah, and sometimes that doesn't count as well. So that's really important, Nick. To be truth, I think you've given a very easy way to understand what the question was, which is what and how does the points work. And mainly, how do I know if I'm eligible for this program? So there you have it. As I said before, these videos is to solve a lot of the doubts or questions that there are, or probably that you might have if you're thinking about migrating in Australia, or if you're actually starting the process or let's say the pathway to migrate to Australia. So this is a good idea of how you can actually get it. Nick, we just run out of time. I think that's been plenty of information for today and for this video. Guys, stay tuned. Remember to hit the bell button and also the subscribe button so that you can get all the updates. And it also helps with the algorithm so that other people can see our videos and we can, share this information, which is very valuable for everyone. Nick, thanks a lot again.
No problem. Thanks, George.
And see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.